Okay, so we all know Stranger Things, right? The 80s vibe, the Demogorgons, the whole town of Hawkins, it's iconic. But what if I told you that the real story behind the show, well, it's actually even stranger than the fiction we all binged?
I mean, think about that for a second. What if the whole idea of a girl with these incredible powers who was studied in some secret lab during the Cold War wasn't totally made up? It's a wild thought, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We're pulling back the curtain on this one.
All right, so first up, let's just ground ourselves in the world we all know so well. We're talking about that massive Netflix hit, Stranger Things. And of course, its main character, Eleven.
You know the story. A young girl, just a kid really, with these insane psychokinetic abilities. She escapes from a secret government lab and completely upends this small town. It's a story that grabbed all of us, right? Friendship, monsters, and this mysterious girl at the center of it all, known only by a number.
Okay, so now I want you to leave Hawkins, Indiana behind for a minute. We're going to step out of the fictional 80s and travel back in time to the very real and very tense Soviet Union of the 1960s. This is where we meet the woman who might just be the real Eleven, Nina Kulagina.
And her life story? It's pretty wild from the get-go. I mean, she joined the Red Army's tank regiment at just 14 years old during World War II. After that, she kind of settled into a normal life as a housewife, until the 1960s. That's when these rumors, these whispers about her incredible psychic abilities started to leak out and spread way beyond the Iron Curtain.
So how did the world find out about her? Not through some big announcement, no way. It was through these grainy, silent, black and white films that were literally smuggled out of the Soviet Union. And these clips were captivating, super mysterious. They landed like a bombshell, and you can bet researchers and intelligence agencies all over the world were paying very close attention.
So what could she allegedly do? Well, the claims were just astounding. We're talking moving small objects on a table without touching them, separating a broken egg yolk from the white while it was submerged in water. But then it gets way more intense. There were claims she could alter a person's heartbeat with her mind. And get this, one of the most famous and frankly disturbing claims is that while scientists watched, she focused her mind and stopped a living frog's heart.
Okay, so this is obviously the big question, right? The million-dollar question. Was any of this real, or was this woman pulling off one of the biggest, most elaborate hoaxes of the entire century? And believe me, this question created a massive debate that split the scientific community right down the middle for years.
So let's break down this debate. On one side, you had something like 40 scientists, and we're talking Nobel laureates among them, who studied her in what they said were controlled lab conditions. They recorded real physical changes when she did this stuff. Her heartbeat would go crazy, her brainwaves would alter. But then on the other side, you had a whole chorus of skeptics and professional magicians who were just like, nope. They argued that everything she did could be faked with hidden threads or tiny magnets, classic sleight of hand. Plus, there were rumors that she'd actually been caught cheating a few times.
And the critics, oh man, they did not hold back. The science writer Martin Gardner just called her, and I'm quoting here, a pretty, plump, dark-eyed little charlatan. I mean, wow. So for a lot of people in the West, the case was closed. She was a total fraud.
But you have to ask, why did everyone care so much? Why was this such a big deal? Well, because this was never just about whether a woman could move a matchstick with her mind. This was the Cold War. And this was about a potential new battlefield, one you couldn't even see.
Yeah, this brings us to something called the Psi Race. Think of it like the space race, but with psychic powers. It sounds like science fiction, but it was very real. Both the US and the Soviet Union were pouring millions of dollars into psychic research. They were terrified the other side was going to develop a telepathic spy, or even crazier, a psychic weapon. So for the Soviets, someone like Nina Kulagina, she wasn't just a curiosity, she was a potential superweapon.
Okay, so how do we get from this very real, very strange Cold War psychic drama all the way to a blockbuster Netflix show? Let's connect the dots.
When you look at it, the blueprint is all right there. The creators of Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers, have talked about this. They were pulling inspiration directly from this era of Cold War paranoia, from actual secret government programs like Project MKUltra, and this whole idea of a psi race. So this core concept of a human test subject with psychic powers, a girl known only as 11, it's a direct echo of the stories surrounding Nina Kulagina.
What the Duffer Brothers did so brilliantly,
was take this real-world history and wrap it up in a big love letter to 80s classics from people like Stephen King and Steven Spielberg. But the engine of the show, that central fear of a secretive government messing with things it can't control, that is the exact same fear that fueled the real-life psi race and turned Nina Kulagina into this international phenomenon.
So really, the next time you're watching a rerun and you see 11 flip a van over with her mind, maybe you'll think back to that grainy, black and white footage of a Soviet housewife supposedly making a compass needle spin just by looking at it. It really makes you wonder, how many of our favorite stories are secretly hiding these incredible, real-life histories, just waiting for us to find them? It just goes to show you, sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction.